Road Dogs!
What's up, guys? Road Dogs, a comedy podcast because we're curious fellas on a curious road
Totally.
we call life. And
Crazy
we're going to
little
talk, crazy little thing called
life. Crazy little thing called life. Doom, doom, doom.
Sing it, Freddie Mercury.
No, what are we doing today? What's our episode about? Is this the Neanderthal one?
Yeah, we're talking
Hell
about
yeah.
Neanderthals, dude.
Neanderthal.
Affirmations.
I'm thankful for Neil Young impressions.
Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you.
I'm thankful for being alive.
I'm still alive.
I'm thankful for Chris Christopherson impressions.
Blade, you can't go out there and keep doing this to yourself. You need your rest, Blade. Blade, you're running yourself into the ground.
Affirmations.
Is it thal or tall?
It depends on how pretentious you want to be in the moment. Who
Is
you're
it
trying to impress.
right? It's. I mean,
Yeah.
Or what part of the country you're at to say? Do we do the T and the H together? Like, remember,
How pretentious.
there's a Dell the Funky Homo Sapien song where he says like apartheid, and I was like, oh, is it apartheid or apartheid? He goes, a global apartheid, and I was like, is it apartheid or apartheid? So it's like, is it Neanderthal or Neanderthal?
Well, I think
Neanderthal sounds like they're tall, like you. Neanderthal sounds like they might be Jewish. The Neanderthals and the Rosenthals too.
I could see that. I mean, look, the way Dell and the Funky Homo Sapien said it, I'm assuming he was probably medicated. So I don't know if that's really the one to go by. You
Was
know,
Dell into drugs?
Dell,
I guess everyone's into.
yeah, maybe. I mean, he's a funky Homo sapien.
Yeah, and he's an artist.
Yeah,
and you know how artists are. They love their drugs.
Yeah.
Unlike the square world that's addicted to alcohol, caffeine, and God knows what else.
Right. Yeah, dude.
But then they call everyone else drug addicts. Like,
Yeah.
you drink fucking 10 coffees a day and get drunk all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm a drug addict because I smoke a little weed. I don't. This
We're
is a
just
podcast.
watching the game. This is the 70th beer I've had. And it's so crazy, dude.
Look at us criticizing beer and Del the Funky Homo Sapien at the same time. So we're being fair, like South Park. We're making fun of everybody.
Yeah, but I would like to think that Dell is a pretty cool dude.
I would hope so, dude.
And I also like to think that Neanderthals are pretty interesting, dude.
Let's do some Neanderthal. This is something I'm excited about.
I love that, this show, we really fucking dig deep in some, and I'm sorry to use my France so early on in the pod because I don't want to lose all our sponsors in, England.
No, dude. No.
But, dude, there's something about, like, the history of humanity that I was very curious about, dude.
Oh,
so
yeah, dude.
I'm curious to see what you got for me.
I like how you said you're acting like that was something mean to say. The history of humanity. Okay, so here's your quiz, dude. I'm gonna ask you. I'm excited about these. These are so fun.
Yeah.
Were Neanderthals intelligent and social, or were they primitive and unintelligent, as often depicted by the media?
Well, I think there might be a little bias there. I would say that they were a little bit.
Are you biased sexual?
Yeah, dude.
What does that mean? Like, if I'm biased sexual? All right, sorry. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm trying to be a professional adult here.
No. I think that they were probably a little bit more. They had a little bit more communication and a little bit more intelligent than they're perceived to be by most people. Because most people think they're just complete brutes.
Yeah.
But I do think they had tools and did things.
I know, and we always assume like we're so smart now, but like a lot of people are actually like we're like kind of helpless and like plugged into stuff, and people. You look at indigenous people and you're like, they might not have all the book smart that you have, but dude, they've had brilliant abilities to survive and like make comfort in the wild, navigate by the freaking stars. Can you imagine trying to navigate by the stars right now? When it's explained to me, I'm just like, what happens?
Yeah.
Like, it's complicated to just figure that out.
I need a GPS to go down the street, to get on foothill.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to follow the GPS in the sky.
Oh,
you
dude,
know?
the GPS in the sky.
Yeah,
dude, it's a good title for something. I don't know what, but something.
Sturgill.
Okay, well, you were right. That is, they were smart and they were capable beings.
Yeah.
All right, question numero dos, which if you were Neanderthal, you wouldn't have even developed that language yet. So I'm embarrassed to even have gone numero dos. You don't. Neanderthals lived between 300 and 8,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what regions were they in? I'm really bad at asking questions, but this is fun though. Still,
well, I think it was still like Pangea, wasn't it? Or there was a lot of
3,000, 800,000 years ago. That wasn't even a million years ago.
Pangea was way long ago.
Dude, you're thinking of Panera.
Yeah, Panera Bread, I think, is what I'm thinking of. But no,
my technical fix for the cable. Just put it right here.
No, wait. What was the question again? It was.
Do Neanderthals have good or bad attention spans compared to Robert?
They had good.
You asked the question.
Yeah.
You had to have good attention span to survive in Neanderthal. Like you couldn't be like, I'm neurodivergent, Mr. Woolly Mammoth. Just let me kill you my way so that we can eat. You couldn't do that.
No, you had to be sharp on your feet.
Nature's the rule of law.
Dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't get to negotiate.
Well, if you watch this movie, like, I'm glad that we're doing this because one of my favorite recent movies that I've seen is that weird sci-fi movie from the early 80s, Ron Perlman's first film, where he is very fittingly playing a Neanderthal. Great actor, but he's got the forehead, for it. He's great. But it's Quest for Fire. Where it's about like,
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude,
is it good?
Watch it.
Okay,
with
cool.
Some gummies.
But we got it. Okay,
but so
with
it goes with it. So there's mammoths. There's fucking, and it shows there's like other tribes of people just fucking up. You have to be on your toes, dude,
all the time.
It's like
that's what I'm saying. Nature's a bitch, dude. Remember that Nature is Metal account everyone used to talk about? Like, nature's a bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, we saw a fucking beautiful monarch butterfly when we were walking with the kids the other day, trapped up in a freaking giant spider web, like an orb weaver web, and we're like, oh man. And obviously, we're humans, so we're projecting that the monarch butterfly is nice because it's pretty and it's a butterfly. But I kind of do still feel that way. And it was fucking hard to walk away. And my wife was like, do we help it? I was like, you can't, dude. Like, there's an orb weaver that's it's probably gonna die. You're not gonna be able to pull the threads off it after you cut it out of that thing. It's gonna lay there dying. Like, just let it be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all I'm trying to get is nature is fucking tough, man. When we complain, we're like, dude, civilization, although it's pretty brutal at times too, it's a little bit better than nature, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is good to know that like things are even out to where even a monarch could go through some hard times.
Dude.
Monarch butterfly.
Dude. Okay. So where did they live 300, 800,000 years ago? Where were they primarily at? Don't say Chicago.
No. I would.
They were in Chicago, weren't they? The Bears.
They were having some deep dish. I'm talking about Mike Dick over there.
300,000 years ago.
Mike Dick Cave.
It's basically two continents. You're gonna get it. I mean, you're smart.
Yeah. Well, Africa, right? What do they say? Africa.
It's mostly Europe. And Asia.
No, Europe. There was a lot in Europe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which explains a lot.
At the peak, what was their estimated population of Neanderthals? At their peak, like how many were there? This is in the whole world too.
Oh wow, yeah.
I hope this is right too. I didn't double fact check this, so you can, if you're watching this, you can fact check it. Leave us a comment if we're wrong. But
there's more people than ever now, and the
number is so small, dude.
Yeah.
How many do you think there were?
1 million.
Dude, so much less than that.
Yeah,
this blew my mind. And like I said, I didn't fact check it, so it could have blown my mind because it's not right.
Well, you know how when we hear...
Is that your answer? Is that your final answer?
Well, I want to... this is how I would figure this out, right? I'm going through the process of what I would say. Because this is fun. I'm a history buff. I'd like to maybe give some people some stuff they don't think about. You know how, like, when you hear, you're related to this fucking monarch, you're related to William the Great or whatever?
Yeah.
And you find out it's like, because there was just less human beings. So you're talking about way before that.
Dude, way before
that. Okay.
Dude, so many less than 1 million.
100,000. 600,000. 6,000, 20,000,
52,000. I mean, you got it wrong. So I guess if there were like a point system that we had here,
okay, well, I was wrong.
52,000 is what I got.
Wow.
So I didn't double check that. That's just from the one thing I read, but still, that's pretty fucking amazing.
That's like less than Dodgers.
It's like a stadium. That's like SoFi going to see Chris Stapleton on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Which I would totally do if anyone has tickets. Okay.
And Neanderthals would be there.
To see Chris Stapleton?
No.
How fucking dare you, dude?
I'm just kidding, dude.
How dare you?
I'm joking.
It's like the best living famous blues singer, country singer alive right now. Okay. Question numero 4. What physical feature helped Neanderthals, or Neanderthals, depending on how educated you are, adapt to cold environments by warming the air they breathed?
What tool?
What helped them adapt to the cold environments? Like, how did they? Why were they able to like warm the air that they were breathing?
I think because they were a little bit more primitive. I think they would fart in their hands and just like like just like cup,
so
like Dutch
up.
oven their so mouths.
If there are ghosts and we retain some form of consciousness, to imagine them floating around being like, like all frustrated. Like, this is what's going. There's no way that's the way it goes. Can you imagine dying and then just floating around frustratingly watching all of us retardedly like ruin things all the time?
Oh,
actually, we're kind of progressing. I'm being very negative. It's the matcha. I didn't have enough of it today. It was their large nostrils.
Oh,
so
really?
Giant ass nostrils, and like that like allowed like the cold air to like get in there and like kind of warm before it got into their lungs, because I guess that's important.
Wow, so it wasn't Dutch ovening their face.
No, but that was a pretty funny answer
Okay.
for a comedy podcast doing a little bit of history talk, right? Okay, here we are. What is the average life expectancy of a Neanderthal?
Dude, I mean, it's hard out there for a pimp, back in the day. I would say,
Oh, yeah.
I would say like 30 years.
Yep, that's right. Can you see this from there?
No, I
Okay,
can't.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh,
As
yeah.
I imagine that you know when you talk loud because you have bad hearing like me, and then you're like, oh, that guy across the room heard me talking shit. It's because you're yelling, John. The same thing with the eyes.
like everyone's
I was
grandpa.
like, there's no way you can see this, and it's like, oh no, some people can see what's on this. My son will see stuff from far away, and I'll be like, how the fuck did you read that? So okay, good.
Okay, yeah.
You were right though. 30 years on the mark.
Which sounds actually longer than you'd think. Because
Well, that's an average. So averages are super misleading, right? So averages are different than medians. So when you tell an average, it's like you could have a ton of people that die during childbirth, and then other people that live to 50, 60, 70 years old, and you'd be like, oh, the average is 23 years old. And you're like, whoa, people died at 23. It's like, actually not a ton of people died at that age, but we think that because I think the Middle Ages has the same kind of stat where they're like, yeah, a lot of people die at childbirth. I think throughout all human history, there's a ton of that. And so average is a good way if you're a statistician to get the information, but for like regular people, we completely miscalculate all the time thinking like people died super young. It's like, well, yeah, a lot of people died at childbirth. But then there were a ton of people, like there were old ladies walking around in Middle Ages, and it wasn't like, you're old, this is blowing my, I never saw an old person. It's like, yeah, there were a lot of old people because people lived to be 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the 30-year thing could be misleading, and maybe Neanderthals, maybe there were 50-year-old, 60-year-old Neanderthals, and it's just a bunch of them died.
Do you think they went
through
through like midlife crises?
Yeah, I think that, oh, well, I think throughout human history of civilized world, there was probably midlife crises and some form of a Ferrari or going back to stand-up comedy for everybody. But I think prehistory, Neanderthal is, I bet you, dude, I don't think you had time to do that shit. I think having time to ponder was like what kind of like, eating mushrooms and doing cave paintings and all the weird stuff they did is what turned into what we are. But before that, I think you were just like trying to reproduce, trying to get a comfortable, like, dude, like sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah. To
I
quote
don't know.
Metallica.
Oh,
yeah.
dude. And I think we always should, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are evolved.
Yeah.
We should be quoting Metallica regularly, right? Speaking of which, hit up our sponsor, D, at A Piece That Remains.
Suck my Zwick!
Thomas Zwick is a glass maker. He makes glass. He's like a meteor that hits the earth and turns sand into glass. Isn't that what he does, Robert?
I mean, if he makes glass, that sounds cool. It's a lot better than making methamphetamine, right? Isn't that glass, shark man?
That's actually that's a very old-fashioned joke. You just let everyone know your age, that you were alive when Breaking Bad came out. None of our listeners were alive at that time, Robert. They're all 15 to 16 years old, and Breaking Bad is 50 to 60 years old, right? How old is Breaking Bad? When did it come out, Robert?
I can't tell anymore, but Edward.
Thomas knows. Thomas Zwick knows. You should send him a message and say, Thomas, I'm interested in purchasing some glass from you, and not the methamphetamine kind. And also, when did that show come out, Breaking Bad? And now a piece remains. Now, when somebody close to you passes away, whether it's a favorite pet, not that you have a non-favorite pet, right? That's kind of weird what I said there. A pet or a family member that's human, you can have their ashes immortalized in some beautiful art by someone who's sensitive and caring and will respect them. And that is
me. I mean, D.
D. Which rhymes with me, so I won't call you a fucking idiot on your own ad read, Robert.
Oh, you little rascal, you.
Little rascal. That's what your mom calls me when I'm hitting it from the back, giving her back shots.
Oh, you better watch your fin, my friend.
Her tramp stamp just says chum, and it has an arrow pointing towards her butt.
Man, don't get me hard right now during this ad read.
Oh, Robert. Oh, my gosh. I feel like we're going to make a stuck porn, but right after these folks go to our favorite sponsor, D from A Piece That Remains, and tell her we sent you, and don't tell her about this ad read. People are strange, especially in the real estate world. That's why you need someone that you can trust. Hit up Cole Strange. He's not that strange. He's kind of strange because most people are onions when you peel them. You like that?
I do.
Not you.
Oh.
I'm talking to Cole. Cole, did you like that? Did you like your ad read? All right, guys, check this out. You need to hit up Cole if you want to buy a house because Cole will help you. He's a mortgage lender. He'll help you figure it out. Even if you're not sure how much money you've got, how long it is until you can buy a house, if you can ever even buy a house, depending on if you're part of the shrinking middle class. And Cole will help you find a path to getting your first piece of property or your 10th piece of property, but not your 11th.
Is there property in the ocean, Eduardo, that's pretty cheap these days?
Oh, that is called speciesism. It's very much like racism, Robert, assuming that we don't have property in the ocean.
Man, well, I don't think Cole would think that way because he's a cool guy and he accepts everybody, right? He can help you out with the loan.
Cole is strange, but he's a good guy. He's got hairy arms and he's most likely bi.
I feel like, though, the majority of people don't know shit about cavemen. Like, most of us don't.
Even the fact that we call them cavemen.
Yeah. Well, because there's so many. It's not just Neanderthal. Like,
oh, yeah.
There's people, like, I think even in between Neanderthal and us.
Yeah. Oh,
so yeah.
I think
and
you're right.
Before. And, well, a ton
we were alive at
before.
the same time as Neanderthals.
Yeah,
apparently,
yeah.
they think that we might have, basically
we totally
outproduced them.
Uh-huh.
Like we had more sex. Like, this is a great argument to have with your partner. If you're like, come on, baby, like we're humans, we're made to just make love. It's like the species that wants to bone more will, in certain ways, get ahead in certain categories of species surviving.
You think Neanderthals would like just be wanting like like bone and all the time? You know,
Well, if you ever see a remake of a Neanderthal when they do like the thing, you're like the chicks were not hot.
Yeah.
So it's like you know what I mean. Like like if two grizzly bears are mating, you're just like, I can't even relate. It seems really boring to be a grizzly bear and be like, that's what I gotta fuck that. Like, I can't even believe they made it this far as a species, right?
Right.
Like humans, it's pretty easy to be like, oh, dude, human chicks are hot. But like as a grizzly bear, you can imagine being like, yeah, because that's what they're into. But if you're a Neanderthal and then like a hot human chick walks by, you're like, we're very similar, and you're like, what's going on over there? Like I'm actually interested in reproducing. Like it's like having a really ugly partner if you're Neanderthal, being like, I'll just jack off.
Yeah.
We all know somebody who's like got like an ugly partner and they're just like not into it, and you're like, you guys ever have sex anymore? Like, oh hell no. That's what it was like to be a Neanderthal for the whole species, probably.
Do you think they did stuff to each other?
I'm not a doctor, by the way, just so you guys know. This is just my
Dr. Shefsky.
Dr. Juan over here with his theories. I don't know.
I mean, dude, in that movie, to refer back to it, because I got really fascinated for a minute on that, in Quest for Fire, Tommy Chong's daughter, who's smoking freaking piece in that movie, 40 years ago, she's like a modern human. She's a modern human, but like she's very early.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where she's like one of them gets hit with like a rock, and she's laughing and they're not. She's like finds it funny because she's like a little more developed and understands.
Oh, that's genius! Oh yeah. What do you? Yeah. Oh, dude, I love this. This is like
and people are horny too. Well, they're raping all the time. Like they try to get on with her. And even Ron Perlman tries to bone a dude, and the other guy gets upset. It's very funny.
That's the that again. This is like the pre-civilization, like animal world of like. You ever? This sounds like a Joe Rogan podcast now. Like, you ever just see the lions how they just jump on top? But it's like it really is like how like the wild is like not. It's not like there's no consent in the wild. They're just like that's how reproduction happens. And so. Yeah, I can imagine that history is just full of that. It's still full of that.
Yeah.
But like now it's like by civilized people, it's like, that's not something that you do. But in the old days, like no one was like, that's not something you do. You're just like, it's like biggest, strongest gorilla in the zoo gets whatever they want. And everyone else is like, yes, sir.
Yeah,
here's my bananas and my ass.
Yeah, here you go, chippers.
Don't bonobos or like one of those like developed apes, like, are they still like just raping and pillaging still? And they're like all smart and creative and like, and they're just like, even the dudes are fucking other dudes. You're like, God damn. Like, it's fucking brutal.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking brutal. I don't mean consensual gay bonobos. I mean, like, anal rape bonobos, which is the name of a really cool metal band that we just started right now.
Dude,
well,
I'm down.
We got to get this. We got to get done with this. We got practice. We got a gig coming up.
Oh, shit.
Anal rape bonobos, dude.
Yeah,
We got a gig coming up this week. We'll see you at the Showcase Theater in Corona, 8 p.m. We're opening for Anal Rape Gorillas.
Dude.
All right, here's the next question on the thing. What type of rudimentary tools did Neanderthals use for hunting and building shelters?
Oh, dang. What like a
What do they use for hunting?
They didn't have bows.
Nope, but close. This is pre-bow.
Like axes.
This is what when we were very close. You're actually in between the. Okay, do you want one more guess? One more guess, and then I'll tell you.
a drone off Amazon.com.
You have a comedian on your history podcast, and this is what you get.
And I'm actually very happy. I'm very happy that you said that because it was funny and much cuter than the true answer, which is spears and hammers made from stone and animal bones. Animal bones, spears and hammers.
Dang.
Did both men and women in Neanderthal society participate in hunting? And if so, what large animal did they often hunt?
I'd assume they hunted woolly mammoths.
You're correct. That is right. And then the other question was it men and women that both hunted or just men?
I would assume just men.
Yes, there were lesbians even in Neanderthal times. They both participated in hunting. Okay. Could Neanderthals create fire?
No.
The answer is we don't actually know, but they used fire when they were around it, we think.
Yeah.
Or anthropologists and archaeologists think that they used fire, but we don't have like conclusive evidence, but we don't think that they actually knew how to like take a drill and, make fire. But they might have, but they know a lot of insane stuff that you would think like, how would you know that from deducing like,
yeah.
But anyways, okay.
Well, it's crazy that we probably were the ones I'm going to claim us, but like modern, humans, like humanoids are probably the ones that made fire.
Oh yeah, dude.
Think about that. We've come from that to
just saying fire, dog. That shit's fire.
To that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we've reversed. I don't know. But
reverse fire cowgirl?
Yeah.
That's
man.
fire, dog. That's fire,
That's
dog.
fire, dog.
That's fire, dog.
It's like Southern California right now. Gosh. I hope it doesn't
I don't know
get
when
worse.
this episode's coming out. Hopefully that
Oh,
fire will
fuck.
be out. Dude,
Yeah,
so many acres have burned up.
Ugh,
We're just
sorry,
like going
guys.
outside taking a bong rip that doesn't get you high, bro. Just
Oh,
gives you a
man.
headache and a sinus attack. Okay, let's get to the next question, Robert.
All right.
How did Neanderthals communicate their hunting strategies and emotions? Dude, beautiful.
they
I know
blew
you're.
up-
I know you're making fun of our history, our ancestors that gave us so much and got us here on this evolutionary springboard. But you're right.
They
Through a
blew
complex
loads.
combination,
Oh, okay.
they blew loads. Can you imagine how dehydrated you'd be if every message had to be you blowing some sort of a load? and you don't even you'd have to be like blow a load just to ask for some Gatorade. Yeah, it was through complex combination of sounds and gestures. So that's, dude, you were spot on. And not to ridicule them the way we were joking, like, but like they really did like which is how I try to imagine when I imagine what my cats are thinking or dogs are thinking. I'll be like, how would they think hot or cold, happy, sad? And it's they be, So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Here's the next question. What evidence? I sounded like Jiminy Glick for a second. And what evidence? I love Jiminy. Okay. What evidence suggests that Neanderthals had an understanding of death and possibly even engaged in rituals like mourning and stuff like that? This is a one put in here by our sponsor because they ordered unique artistic products from a piece that remains. I'm just joking. No, but seriously, like what did they do?
Did they have like graves? Did they have graves?
They had graves, and they think that there might have been again, scientists think that there might have been flowers and decorations around them. Again, not fully confirmed according like consensus science.
flower.
Right?
Here it is.
Anal Rape Bonobo with their hit single "Pretty Flower."
I'm fucking down, dude.
In which modern day? This is the next question. Here we go. In
right.
which modern day country was Neanderthal cave art dating back 60,000 years discovered? Okay,
France. Or like fucking Norway.
Close. Spain. España.
Spain.
It says dating back 60,000 years, but
yeah, Spain. Yes,
but
you're right.
That's why I'm confused about that one. If that was even if that's accurate, because 60,000 years cave art, that's cool. But did Neanderthal? They weren't alive 60,000 years ago. I think they died 300. Anyways, okay. The fact check it. This is just giving you, our viewers or listeners, an opportunity to fact check this and see when did Neanderthals die out, and when was this cave art
they're
discovered?
still around. They're at the White Sox games. No offense.
I thought you were
over
going to
there.
make a Sasquatch reference or a conspiracy reference. If you go to the edge of Antarctica,
Yeah.
that's where Neanderthals live.
Yeah,
underneath
apparently
the
they're-
technical god space shuttle ship headquarters.
You know what's funny though? It kind of reminds me of the woolly mammoth that they just found. Did you see that?
No.
It was like a pretty intact woolly mammoth body.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
That's
you know they're
awesome.
cloning it.
I heard they were trying to like put them up in one of the poles, right, to help with like reestablish stuff for climate change. I thought they had this whole like gnarly like
really?
Jurassic Park plan for it that definitely won't backfire.
No.
Okay. Well, this is the final question, Robert. This is,
Wow. Okay.
This is the big door prize, Robert.
All right.
Don't mess this one up. Everything is. You'll be clubbed to death if you get it wrong. Let's put it that way. What types of designs did Neanderthals create in their cave art, indicating early creativity?
Like, they drew dicks and tits.
Close, because they did draw
Hands.
polka dot patterns
Oh.
and lines on stalagmites.
Wow.
And stalagmites are the ones that come up. Stalactites drop down. Ralphie May used to tell me the way he remembered that was because stalactites,
really?
stalactites, and stalagmites. I think it was the muff or something like that. But stalagmites, which is the one that comes from the bottom up, they drew lines on them.
Oh.
So,
wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. And polka dots.
Yeah, dude. Which I think are like rad graphics that I still love, like those kinds of patterns today. And, like when you go into like an art exhibit or like a cool design store or somewhere where there's an installation, I love like when there's just like interesting patterns that look like mud rag, like, you know, like organically drawn like lines, wavy stuff and dots. And which if you delve into that is like could totally like be really fun. Like when you delve into like cave art and people being in trances and all the weird stuff that they used to do like for spirituality and trying to like, you know.
Yeah. Which is what they do now at like Taylor Swift shows. Right?
Dude.
At the Sphere, dude.
At the Sphere. Does she do the Sphere?
No.
She's going to do the
Fish.
Sphere. She's got to do the Sphere.
I feel like that's like, that's a given. I mean, they're hemorrhaging money there, so hopefully it makes it to her. I feel like, dude, it's going to be weird when like they're really trying to make it. It's just going to, 10 years from now when society's fallen and the Hawk Tuah girl just has to finally.
Why would you say that?
I'm just kidding. I have hopes, dude. There's a Whataburger in Vegas.
You got to stay off the internet. You got to do what Ari Shaffir says. You got to close your laptop and go outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, people get little.
We need that like
excited.
in a quote, like a motivational poster with a little hyphen that says Ari Shaffir, but like a whale jumping out of the water. Put that in the background.
Well, dude, think about if
Close your
someone.
laptop, go outside.
Dude, if a Neanderthal came now, he would be like, "Whoa, you can Uber Eats," you know? And then here we are being like, "It's the end of the world," but like. You know, we're just because the media shoves negative stuff in our face all the time. It's just how people get like eyes on things. So we're constantly hit with it's the end of the world. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And so we think that way, but like you think about it, dude. Yeah, if a Neanderthal came, he'd be watching a ton of porn.
So here are some reasons why you should never have a small penis. Number 1, you can't see it when you pee, and that sucks. Number 2, sweatpants hit different. Number 3, Magnum condoms. What's that like?
Hey guys, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more of our podcast, click this link right over here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Mwah. Do we love them, Robert?
We love them.
We love them. Love gets used too much. I get kind of annoyed when they go, everyone's like, we love you.
What about Lyle Levitz, the goofy guy that was with
That
Julia
works.
Roberts?
That
We
works.
Lyle Levitz you.
We Lyle Lovitz you.